and to be shedding more light on this important topic. I'm honored to be having with me over the phone Dr. Fouad Razek, the Foreign Policies Professor and the International Affairs Analyst. Dr. Fouad, thank you very much for being with us today on the Breakfast Show, and good morning.
Good morning to you, and thanks for having me.
Anytime. First of all, how did you read the latest developments regarding the negotiations that could have taken place in Islamabad in Pakistan between the Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi and the American envoys that did not really take place there?
No, these talks actually are installed now and not going ahead as planned for certain circumstances and for certain reasons. This is why the American president decided not to send his envoys to Islamabad because he didn't feel that the other side is serious enough or the offer is strong enough to make such a deal or to send his envoys back again, or even considering sending Vice President Vance to the area.
Yes, on the other hand, and regarding the role of Egypt, how did you see the diplomatic efforts of Egypt since the start of the conflict on February the 28th to be de-escalating the tensions in the region, in the Middle East, for the benefit of everyone?
Actually, this is the course Egypt took from the very beginning of the crisis, as Egypt has endeavored and pursued an active diplomatic approach based on de-escalation, based on dialogue, and preventing the conflict from expanding. And Cairo has maintained contacts with regional and international partners, stressing that military escalation would only deepen instability and threaten the security of the entire region, not only the Gulf area or certain areas, but the whole world. This is why Egypt wrote from the very beginning, even before the first successful, between brackets, meeting, when Egypt and Turkey with Pakistan played a great role in paving the way for such negotiations and talks in Islamabad. And after that meeting, Egypt maintained the same effort, the same momentum, though it has been, light has been shed on the Pakistan role only, but Egypt was pursuing the same route.
Yes, and speaking about the mediation efforts of Egypt and Pakistan, how did you see the bilateral ties between Cairo and Islamabad regarding such an important topic, the de-escalation of tensions in the region, to be stopping the war between Iran and the United States in the Middle East?
Egypt moved through intensive diplomatic consultations aimed at supporting the ceasefire and creating conditions for renewed negotiations between Washington and Tehran. Coordination with Pakistan added regional weight to these efforts, as both countries share an interest in preventing confrontation and keeping the door open for diplomacy. Egypt stressed the importance of Pakistan as a mediator. This is why it saw the coordination with Pakistan as a vital role at that critical phase. And anyhow, what we're seeing now is the fruit of this. Of course, there is no final solution, but at least there is no war. And the situation now is a standstill, and all the parties are at limbo.
Yes, on Friday we have seen the participation of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi in the informal European Union summit, along with the regional partners from the Arab world and the Middle East, and the warm reception given by the Cypriot President Nikos Christou, the leaders to President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi in Nicosia. What about the messages sent by President al-Sisi regarding the tensions in the region, about peace building in the Middle East, and the stance of Egypt regarding the current tensions and the war in the region?
As a matter of fact, the visit by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi carried strong messages that Egypt supports regional calm and immediate and lasting ceasefire and political solutions to ongoing crises. It also highlighted Egypt's role as a bridge between the Arab world, Europe, and the East Mediterranean. Actually, the President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi's address was really very welcome, especially when it comes to the day when has been done, which is Sinai Liberation Day,
Yes.
and it highlighted as well the Egypt's firm stance on regional crises, as the address reaffirmed Egypt's principles, defending national security, rejecting escalation, supporting peace, and preserving regional stability. It also linked Egypt's historical experience in Sinai with its current belief that strength must serve peace, not endless conflict.
Yes, and regarding conflicts, how do you see, Dr. Fouad, the Cairo stance regarding the ceasefires, both between the United States and Iran in the Middle East in general, and between Israel and Lebanon, or Hezbollah in specific in South Lebanon nowadays?
Yes, it is the same approach, though the two issues are quite separate, because Israel from the very beginning was insisting to separate the two issues. But Cairo sees both as essential pillars for restoring regional security. A ceasefire between the United States and Iran reduces the risk of a broader confrontation, while calm Lebanon helps protect the Levant from further instability.
Yes, over the past couple of months, more specifically, we have seen the efforts of the political leadership and the directives of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, as well as the visits paid to the GCC countries such as Saudi Arabia and Qatar, Bahrain, the United Arab Emirates, and more recently to Cyprus as well. But what about the efforts of Foreign Minister Dr. Badr Abdel Ati? Because yesterday we have seen contacts being exchanged between Foreign Minister Abdel Ati and his counterparts from Oman, from Brazil, from Canada, Germany as well. How do you see those efforts to be stopping the war and de-escalating tensions in the Middle East?
Regarding the visit by President Sisi to the Gulf area, actually it was very vital and very important to allay fears of these countries and to assure them that Egypt is behind them, especially after so many misunderstandings about the role of Egypt and the siding by Iran, which has been actually negated in a sensible way. And that's what has been proved later. Now the relationship with the Gulf area is very strong. But regarding Foreign Minister Abdel Ati's contacts with the countries you mentioned,
yes,
these contacts show the intensity of Egypt's diplomatic engagement through talks with Arab, European, and international partners. Egypt is trying to build a broad consensus around de-escalation, ceasefire efforts, and the return to political negotiations. So the same path has been followed all the way through. And of course, Gulf security was part and parcel of Egypt's efforts, because it considers their security is as well Egypt's own security.
Yes, Dr. Fouad, and this was something that was repeated one time after the other, and once again during the visit of President al-Sisi to Cyprus, condemning the Iranian attacks against the GCC countries and stating, as you mentioned, that the security and the stability of the Gulf Cooperation Council is a part and parcel of the Egyptian national security. What about the messages of support given by President al-Sisi throughout the past couple of months to the leaders of the GCC countries? How do you see them?
Yes, Egypt's efforts confirm its role as a trusted mediator and heavyweight regional power, as Cairo has the diplomatic experience, strategic location, Arab influence, and international relations needed to communicate with different parties and push for stability. And this reflects long-standing Egyptian position as referring to the Gulf and other issues. Gulf, as I said, is central to Arab security, energy stability, trade routes, and regional balance. And any threat to Gulf security directly affects Egypt's national interests and the wider Arab world. And that is the path followed by Egypt from the very beginning of all crises, actually, not the present crisis, up till now. And actually, the negotiation path is the only path that would lead to end of any conflict. And the main thing is not to go back to war and its calamities.
Yes, Dr. Fouad, as you mentioned, not to be returning once again to the war. And we have seen over the past few hours an assassination attempt for the American president or against the American president Donald Trump in Washington at a media gala. How do you see this step, this update, this development affecting the course of the negotiations between the United States and Iran and the possibility of the return of war once again?
I think this matter was an internal American matter, the assassination attempt, because it has some implications on the situation going on, because as claimed so far, we don't know the exact reasons and whom was targeted in this assassination attempt. But they say they are Democrats, and the Democratic Party is against the Republican Party, and they are against the policies of President Trump. I don't think that President Trump will change his situation, especially that he's taking the right course in solving the issue through negotiations rather than. But the problem is the impact this crisis has on the world markets and the economy, and even inside the United States of America. People are suffering all over the world from the energy prices and the oil prices and all that sort of such sorts of crises, actually. So it should be said, it should be looked at within the internal affairs of the United States. And let's wait and see what other comments might come from the president and what extent it will affect the course of action taken by President. I don't think that it would go back to war, because now sometimes we hear from President Trump some optimistic comments that the negotiations could resume, but on different terms after getting the right, the right assurances and the right guarantees and a more serious approach by Iran. And this is really important, and I hope this assassination attempt won't affect badly the situation, which is already bad in itself.
Yes, Dr. Fouad Razek, the Foreign Policies Professor and the International Affairs Analyst, thank you very much for being with us today on The Breakfast Show. We'll be having a quick break. Stay tuned.